Hello, everybody. Welcome to Itaewon By Night, Season 2, Episode 2. Thanks for waiting. Meet us after the break for Bad House RPG specific announcements. If you'd like to support the cast financially and emotionally, we have a tip menu. $10 is a reroll, which allows any of the players to make a reroll that will be able to take the higher result. $20 is a flashback, which will allow the players to rewrite history. And you can also use channel points. Have a look at that beautiful little menu down there. Everyone will need it. But you can also give some stuff to me if you'd like. Our usual content warnings for the show can be found by the Twitch command !CW. As a reminder, usual content warnings for the show: substance use, emotional and memory manipulation, induced memory loss and infatuation, disappearances, historical themes of real-world war and colonization, and other general dark themes. Please take care of yourself. To introduce ourselves, as you can see, we have also a wonderful guest who we will get to very soon. I am Josephine. I will be your storyteller. I'm at Scary Dog Friend, and I'll pass it over to Youngles.
Hi, I'm Youngles. I'm at Jen Geeky on Twitter, and I play Wendy. I'll pass it to Hamna.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hamna. I use any and all pronouns, and I am a TTRPG performer and producer. Today, I will be playing Cerise Shaheen, who uses they, them pronouns, and I will pass it over to my wonderful sire, Jay.
Hi, my name is Jay or Nala. I use they, them pronouns, and tonight I am playing Viridian Song, who is Ventru Insulae and uses they, she pronouns. I would like to pass it to Fabs.
Hey, how's it going? My name's Fabs. I am producer here over at Bad House. But tonight I am going to be playing Jet, the Thin Blood. I'm going to pass it over to our lovely guest, Liz.
Hey, what's going on? I'm Liz. Thank you so much to Bad House RPG for having me first off. I use she, any pronouns. I am playing Jessi Costa tonight, who uses she, they pronouns. You can typically find me tilting at Windmills over at the Moulin Rogue, anywhere you find content.
Amazing. Let's get into our recap from our premiere. 3 months after the events of Itaewon By Night Season 1, we meet our kindred recovering emotionally and also financially in several ways. Viridian Song takes their time initiating their new ghoul, Ted, as a driver, making it known that he could die at any minute. Unexpected permanent change of station of members of the Yongsan garrison is altered at the hands of Ted and Wendy's efforts as the newly branded private investigation firm, The Cleavers, LLC. Wendy's niece is going to New York under a civil engineering faux mentorship of Samir Al-Almadi. Wendy wants to spoil Hain with all the protections Song International Shipping can offer. Jet onboards Hyunmi Min as the new technical heir to Min Financial. Despite her uncertainty, Jet charismatically persuades her that this was her station all along. As a brand new businessman, his first business deal is putting the first chess piece on the board as a significant player in Itaewon. Cerise Shaheen takes on a new international case to defend Youngchul Min, another Min in our story. Despite his many technical charges, he's only going under for embezzlement. Apparently, a very powerful secretary of his was able to sweep a few things under the rug for him as well. Cerise has a new prosecutor rival named Hana Yoon, and she's a bitch. Viridian and Wendy wholesomely talk about the logistics of changing Wendy's last name to Song, and Jet and Cerise have a confrontation after a long period of not speaking, fueled by jealousy and confusion. About them, though, throughout the daytime and going into the nighttime, where we find a lone or perhaps accompanied tattoo artist, we will see a blonde white woman in a sort of not necessarily shady anymore. We are in a brand new tattoo parlor. The deed signed by a Jet and we see a Jessi Costa. Liz, if you wouldn't mind introducing Jessi, telling us what they look like, and what does your tattoo parlor look like?
You wouldn't necessarily know from looking at the front, especially given the reputation of some of the parlors that you hear about in the area. Looking from the front of a strip mall, it's a little unassuming. You walk in, on the other hand, and it is pristine. It's bright, it's not fluorescent lit. It's a very comfortably lit, very soft, very clean lighting inside. The desks are very geometric. Everything is very pristine. The tops of everything are stainless steel. It's meant to look very surgical. But the walls have art. The walls are covered in very tastefully placed gallery art and very minimalistic frames. And Jessi sits at the front at her desk, scrolling through her tablet, looking at the day's bookings.
Amazing. A while ago, however many months back throughout the time between season 1 and season 2, everyone has been able to get some vampiric bodily alterations of some sort. Although that is not generally possible, everyone that has died always comes back healthier, so to speak. Their body's not changing from the day that they died, hair, if cut, going back to its original length. Tattoos, new or otherwise, go back to what the body's state was the day of death. With the particular alchemical capabilities and alterations that Jet was able to provide our coterie, Jessi, Jet's roommate, former or otherwise, was able to help Jessi hook them up with some incredible clients. We can start with, would y'all want me to goes in, or does anyone want to come into Jessi's parlor for an appointment? Cerise?
Yeah, I think that you hear probably first the chime of the door, the bell to the door, as Cerise opens it and steps inside. I don't think Cerise has ever been inside of a tattoo parlor before. They have, even when they were alive, never got a like tattoo done. They really only have like their ears pierced, and they got those done when they were so young. So this is their first time ever stepping in, and as much as they would like to pretend that that doesn't make them any sort of nervous, I think it's a little bit obvious on their face that they feel out of place here a little bit. And they kind of walk in, and is there anybody else that like works here, or?
Not that you would see, especially not at this time of evening that you'd be coming in.
Yeah, so I think seeing the place like completely empty, like nobody at the desk, no other artists like at their stations or anything, Cerise just kind of speaks out into the large hall, hoping to kind of catch you. Jessi, is this the correct place?
That depends. What are you after?
Oh, hey.
Oh! Jets. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Friend, yes.
Yeah. Hey.
Hey, it's Cerise. I'm sure that Jet has talked to you about. Well, I mean, he must have talked to you about this, right?
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah, he booked it, obviously. Can I? Well, I'm welcome. First off, can I get you anything?
Oh, I didn't realize. No, I'm okay. Thank you. I don't think that you would have anything to my taste.
Trust me. You want to be comfortable? Anything you want, you let me know.
I thank you. Thank you for offering, but
Of course.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
So, it's a nice place that you have here. Is
Thank
this?
you.
And I think they just kind of like point to like a random piece of art on the wall of like a tattoo that's been done. Is that your work?
Yeah, Jet thought it might help if I used to keep everything in books, and he thought that it might help business a little if I had it up on the walls a bit. So, yeah, that's one of mine. Earlier though, so like, it's more of a posterity thing.
Ah, of course. It's beautiful though.
Thanks. Thank you.
Uh,
Your appointment. Are you good? Do you want to get started? Are you?
yes, yes. I'm gonna level with you. I've never done this kind of thing before, so I'm not really sure what to
So could have
expect or.
fooled me, but I'm so with you. Like, I see these. And obviously, threshold is, I'm guessing, a little bit higher, so this should be fine.
Right, threshold. Mm-hmm. So high. Cerise has no idea what you're talking about.
Jessi becomes, I think, aware midpoint that she's trying to make human connections where she's like reaching and it's just. Can I, if you're good, if I can't get you anything, we can head back into a room. We can put your stuff. Do you have any stuff you want to put down?
Yeah, and I think Cerise kind of like has like a bag that they were carrying, and they kind of like put that down, and they take off their blazer that they were wearing as well, revealing just like a pastel kind of spaghetti strap top underneath. And they just kind of like wait for you to lead the way before they follow you back in.
They'll offer their hand for your coat, and if you hand it over, I'll kind of fold it gently and then pop it onto a coat rack as we head back into one of the sterile rooms.
Yeah, they do. And as they kind of walk back with you, I think Cerise is kind of just like looking at all of the different pictures and whatnot that are up. And I imagine that at some point, if it's okay with you, Liz, I imagine at some point there's probably a picture somewhere that is put up of one of Jet's tattoos. And it's like very clearly, I think, recognizable to Cerise and to anybody really in the coterie who would have spent some time with him. And they kind of look at it and they like pause for a moment before continuing to follow you, and they speed up, coming up right beside you, and they say, so how are you and Jet, the roommate situation and all?
Yeah, good, super good. I don't know how much he told you, but he came back, and my whole situation was not ideal. And it worked so great before that we, it's
What do you
good.
mean?
It's you spend a lot of time with someone, and you start working towards building something, and you realize it's maybe not it, and you get the fuck out. And sometimes you get the fuck out without a plan. Jed had a plan, which was great, because and she kind of gestures at everything. Yeah, no, I think it's working out real well.
Were you and Jet? And Cerise looks a little like surprised and amused at this.
Oh, fuck. No. Not that, like, but no. No.
Are you lying to me right now?
No. I have crossed a lot of boundaries in my life with a lot of, the whole don't shit where you eat kind of thing. It's different with Jet. It couldn't and wouldn't, and not for lack of appeal, but also, like a family thing.
Yeah, don't shit where you eat, don't I know it.
I mean, some people make it work.
Some people make it work, so I find that that's difficult to do, it turns out.
Is this about the piercing? Is this because sometimes
yes,
you
yes.
do things after I did. I like you, man. After I left, that whole thing, I went out and like so many. Look, I can't even show you half of them. The change is good.
I mean, you could, but that's up to you.
I guess I could, well, in the chair.
And Cerise will sit down.
I think Jesse's caught a little, especially after you could show me the other tattoos, and as she's kind of sterilizing up, putting the gloves on, has done this 1,000 times over and is slightly off kilter.
And Cerise just kind of like watches, and I think like clocks a little bit that Jessi seems to be a little bit sort of off as well. And I think that makes Cerise a little bit more nervous because they're like, wait, Jet promised that this person knows what the hell they're doing. Are we sure? Are we like sure about this? And they just kind of say, so how long have you been doing this again?
Oh, fuck. Going on 12, 13? Something like that, officially. Here less so, but sorry, this is... Jet told me you were coming in, and I knew you were coming in, but it's always... You want to make a good impression, you know? And they shake it off a little bit, and you see them kind of compose.
You're so fine. Trust me. Everything that Jet has ever said about you has always been really positive.
Thanks. I'm good. Like, you don't have to... Are you ready?
I think so. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Are you? And I think it's one of those things that if you're cool with it, and Jessie's sort of setting up, and it's one of those piercer tricks that it's like, okay, I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, and by the time you've kind of taken a breath in for 2, I've already done it. And
yeah.
boop.
And I think that Cerise is like surprised by that and taken aback and like almost goes to flinch, like to move backwards as you do it, but like recognizing that is a terrible idea when you're getting pierced, like stops themselves just in time, and instead they just kind of like catch, if they needed to breathe, they would catch their breath, I think, in that moment, and they just kind of look at you. Is it done?
And this is already reaching for a little handheld mirror and realizes is quick lore check. Reflections?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm okay.
Reflections
yeah.
are good.
Yeah. Because I don't have one of those. Yeah.
You don't.
No.
Okay. I think knowing this, Jessi typically will show a client and pick up the mirror and hold it up with the best of intentions to show you.
Oh, correction. I don't have the flaw that makes it so that I don't have a reflection, because I know that some vampires have that. I'm good.
Mirrors work. Cool.
Mirrors work.
Jessi holds up her little...
Cerise will look at it and just kind of like move their face around to see it from different angles, and they look up, like back up at you with this like grin on their face. I think their blue eyes like almost sparkling a little bit. It looks beautiful.
You look so beautiful.
Thank you. I mean, I was just gonna say it's a reflection of the work, isn't it?
And you were nervous. I was nervous. If you have any problems, if it starts to get infected, or, you know, you just want to change it out, I'm here, you know?
How can I come find you if I needed to?
I'm here most nights, unless I'm not. Then I feel like you probably could if you wanted to.
And Cerise will, I think, go to their pocket and pull out their phone and just hand it over to Jessi. Why go through phone rewards?
Yeah, good point. I'll tap their number in. They'll send a text to themselves. Hand it back.
And they take it back, and as they do, they say, you know, it's funny. It's odd that Jet hasn't brought you around before.
I thought about that, but I thought it was a compartmentalization thing, which I get, but, you know, I'm here.
They do that with you a lot.
No. I don't... No. And they kind of weigh it out.
He's been... It feels like he's been doing that a lot with me lately.
What do you
So
mean?
I just thought I'd ask. Oh, well. Jet's been distant lately. And at first I thought, it's just everything new that's happening with him, new business, new responsibilities. But it's more than that.
I mean, I thought it was a little fast, but I mean, I don't know. You've seen how he gets when he organizes things, and it's gotta be otherwise. Like, if one thing isn't this way, then this thing isn't. And I just kind of chalk it up to that.
It feels like more than work. Has he said anything to you about me?
Not to me.
Hmm.
But
Okay.
I mean, I don't listen. I'm not gonna get into shit. He doesn't really get into my shit. But if I worry, I'll let you know.
That'd be great. And I mean, I'd love to see you sometime, even if Jet's not involved.
Yeah, shoot me a text.
Will do. So, rewinding. You said infection?
Oh yeah, if it starts to get like crusty or like sore or like tight or anything, don't mess with it too much. Move it, but don't like.
Right. Okay. And Cerise, I think, will take sort of like all of the materials that you would give them for aftercare stuff and like very carefully, I think, place them into their bag as they do so. But I think, like, have mostly been appeased by you in terms of all of the like nerves that they had being here. Who knows? Maybe one of these days could get one of these.
Jessi points to a like botanical, very vivid, very large piece that is just a sketch right now up on one of the walls. I have some shit that I've been dying to do. So
I
let's start
may
small.
need to work up to that. Yeah. Start small.
You let me know.
Let's cut now over to Viridian. Viridian, it is a new day or so. How do you go about heading to this next appointment? How are you introduced to the concept of it?
If it's okay with you, Hamna, I think Cerise comes home to Viridian and tells them about the appointment with Jessi. Because I think initially when Jet pitched Jessi to all of us, Viridian was like, no, I'm good. Like, I don't need anything done. And I think very few people actually know that Viridian does have a tattoo. A very large one at that. They have a black and white phoenix on their back that takes up basically their entire back. And I've done art of it if you want to go look for it. I think I've posted it on either my art Twitter or my normal Twitter. I don't remember which one. It's also in the Bad House Discord, so join that. Anyway, so yeah, not many people know that Viridian actually has a tattoo because with the way they dress, their back is pretty much always covered. I think sometimes you can see maybe like the tips of the wings on their shoulders if they're wearing like a tank top and nothing else, but usually it's mostly covered. But if it's okay with you, Hanna, I think Cerise comes home and tells Viridian like, oh, you gotta get something. Like, you have to meet this person.
Yeah, I
Um,
think Cerise would have said something along the lines of like, I don't know how someone that cool hangs around Jet as a joke.
and I think Viridian, not necessarily pressure, but I think Viridian also knows that like their Phoenix could use a touch up, and I think Viridian has seen Jet's tattoos, and they are very well done, and knows that Jessi is the one that did those. So Viridian's like, okay, sure. Cerise, would you come with Viridian to the appointment, do you think?
That's up to you. You can go alone or you can bring me along.
I think Viridian would ask you to come with me. Because
In that case, yeah.
again, like the tattoo scene isn't really Viridian's scene. And so I think they didn't want to go alone. So the door opens. I think Viridian has made an appointment through Jet maybe. Or just ask Cerise to help set it up. And we walk in.
Would Viridian's influence at this point, especially in social spheres, sort of outweigh Cerise to the point that if Jessi were pretty well known, I might recognize you on sight? Is that...
I think so. I've previously compared Viridian to being well known within like the realm of business, but by name only. I feel like people have heard of song industry shipping, especially if you work anywhere adjacent to that sort of thing. People have heard the name Viridian Song. I feel like their actual physical appearance is less prominent, less forward facing, since they tend to do mostly like office work. They're CEO. So like, you know, I don't know what Disney's CEO looks like, right?
You're not in the
So
bottle room.
kind of like that thing, but
Okay.
yeah. But I definitely think due to your proximity to Jet, and perhaps you know, if you were to look up Viridian song's name, you know, I've done photo shoots. There's like, you know, I've maybe on the cover of a business magazine in Korea or something before, you know. I've done some things. So, yeah. There's a chance you'd recognize me for sure.
We both walked in together. Like, you're walking in together.
Yeah.
I think Jessi probably sees Cerise first. I mean, I've heard tattoos are addicting, but are you back for another piercing so soon? You were like just here.
I was thinking that we could go something more daring this time. Just full facial piercings everywhere.
Gauges? Are you thinking like full on? We could go up to like a...
Thinking like
Yeah.
snake bites, eyebrow piercings. What do you think, Viridian?
And I think Viridian is kind of standing behind Cerise slightly. Just has like the smallest smile on their face, and they chuckle and they say, you can get whatever you like. Anything you do will look great.
Oh, well, okay. That was... Can't really do all that, you know, with the courtroom and all, but actually, and Cerise will, I think, like, kind of, like, step to the side and, like, gently place a hand on Viridian's waist and kind of, like, push her forward a little bit. I'm here with Viridian, who heard such lovely tales about your work and wanted to get something done.
Well,
And Viridian steps forward and extends a hand to shake and just says, Viridian Song.
absolutely flattered and extends her hand too and shakes it firmly. And you see, if they were fairly comfortable and fairly relaxed when Cerise kind of walked in and was familiar, an immediate, like, straighten up business. This is a new customer, and you are obviously somebody who commands a good deal of respect, and extends and shakes your hand. Pleasure. What can we do for you today?
And I think Viridian's wearing a dress that goes to like their mid calf. It's very like tailored to their body. And it's got like a deep V-neck, and they're wearing a jacket over their shoulders, and they take their jacket off their shoulders and they turn around, and I think the dress has a really, really low back. And so you can see their phoenix, and it's my visuals of it is it's all black and white line art of a phoenix with its wings spread, and there's like some fire detailing and a small like halo around the bird's head. So Viridian takes their jacket off and turns around to show Jessi their tattoo. And they say, I would like this touched up.
Jessi gets pretty close to it, but will not put a hand on you and just sort of traces over like the outlines of it hovering over your back. This is absolutely beautiful. Where'd you get this?
San Francisco.
Fucking stunning. A little bit of color? I mean, this is... To touch something like this, like... What can I do to enhance it?
I think Viridian's eyes gaze up at the samples on the wall and seeing your color work. I think you watch as Viridian's face turns very critical. I think like the way they're looking at your work is very like scrutinizing. And they seem to deem it passable, and they turn towards you and they say, and they nod and they say, perhaps a little color. Some red, maybe.
Absolutely.
Limited, though. Limited color, I think.
Classic, not gonna overdo it. Can I get you both anything?
I think Viridian kind of looks between the two of you, because I think based on how Cerise was telling Viridian about Jessi, I think Viridian's just kind of like looking at you two like, but doesn't say anything.
I think Cerise just kind of like sees the way that Viridian is looking at them and just kind of like, if they could blush, like they would blush slightly, and just kind of like looks away quickly and says, no, just probably something to make Viridian comfortable. I don't know if you have like a blanket or pillow or something.
Down okay? Goose down. I mean, pillows.
It's fancy.
Yes. That will suffice.
We like to keep it legit here.
Clearly.
I'll be right back. I'll nip to the back, grab some cushions, some very nice blankets.
And I think Viridian goes to like another. I've never gotten a tattoo. I don't know how this works. I go to like another room to just undress, so that I just take off like the top of the dress and take off undergarments, and I lay down on my stomach on a tattoo bed thing, right?
There's like a table in there that's got like the paper
Yeah,
on
like a table.
it and
Okay. Cool.
And I think Cerise sits down
you
next
set up
to
all
you.
the pillows and blankets. Yeah, and I think Viridian's like rests kind of like this with their arms up so that their back is as flat as possible on the pillow, and their head is turned to look towards Cerise.
I think Cerise has like a handout in case you like need it, in case you need to grab it if things start to hurt. And they kind of like look at you and they smile. And then they look over at Jessi and they say, so this is going to hurt a lot, right?
I mean, people say with piercings, it's the anticipation of it. Tattoos tend to numb after a while. It's like a cat scratch, you know? You get into it, I think, is the thing people find most appealing.
Don't know if that is unusual for Viridian, so you should be okay.
Some people find it relaxing.
Yeah, I think you look at Viridian's face, or if you were to look at Viridian's face, Cerise, you would see that Viridian does not appear to be nervous at all. They don't seem to be. They look very content and relaxed. And they don't seem scared either.
As Jessi sort of finishes putting the colors together and assuming they've kind of walked through some sort of consult over what exactly is the red that you wanted, is it a blue red? Is it a warmer red? They'll sort of sit down beside you, get the kit sort of prepped, start dipping in, and then gesture at your line work. I mean, as far as pain goes, the touch-up that I'm going to do is nothing. This is hours of art and waiting and going back over and over. This is endurance. This is going to be nothing compared to that.
I think Viridian just nods and they say, yes, the original was, I believe, 3 days of sessions. It took a very long time.
Fucking champ. You
Partially
ready?
because I could only be there at night and the artist didn't want to stay up. But we made it work.
I mean, it's beautiful. I just hope I can do it some justice.
And I think Viridian just like makes a soft like sound and like relaxes their neck to look back at Cerise, and if anything would indicate that they're ready, that would be it.
I think Jessi looks, seeing you look to Cerise, Jessi looks to Cerise for permission.
I guess we can start. I can't wait to
Okay.
see you work.
You let me know. And Jessi very gently puts a hand on your shoulder and sort of leans in a little bit closer to Viridian and goes, you let me know if at any point this is not working for you. And we're going to begin. And very softly starts shading in some of the colors and detailing and going back in over it.
Yeah, and I think what actually gets done is that it's like reds, oranges, and yellows to color the fire. I think the bird is left mostly still in black and white. I think you go over the lines a little bit where some of them might have gotten fuzzy and maybe add a little bit more shading to the feathers and whatnot to make it look a little bit more like fully finished. But I think as you start tattooing, like the interesting thing is that when you touch Viridian's shoulder with your hand, you feel them flinch just a little bit. But the tattoo machine does nothing to them. I think they don't even seem to react to it, and they sit the whole time. Is it silent, or do you talk, or?
I don't think Jessi's much for small talk unless it's something that like her human clients demand. And if her more discerning, everlasting clients don't want to talk about things, I'm just here to do the work. But I think seeing that you flinch a little bit, anytime where I would be tempted to put a hand on you to kind of stabilize, I don't. And I really try to maneuver without putting a hand on you again.
Mm-hmm. And I think like halfway through the session, or not even halfway, I think maybe after like 10 minutes of silence, Viridian just starts talking to Cerise about like whatever business. Like
Is it obvious that Jessi, that you are not that you're not working the way that you would ideally like to be working because you can't stabilize Viridian's body?
It's more of a tell of being able to respond to different clients. I think it's a little bit of a challenge just because of technically it's harder to work that way when you're not stabilizing. It's a little bit, skin moves. But I think it's more of a recognition of how many people she has worked with and kind of how responsive she is to movement.
Okay. Yeah. I think Cerise kind of like notes that as well, and probably comforted by the fact that like Jessi has clearly a lot of skill and a lot of talent in this area. We'll just kind of like, I think as they're talking to Viridian, they're like looking at Viridian sometimes, but then other times they'll just like watch Jessi work, watch the sort of the machine move over Viridian's skin as well as the session moves on.
I think it takes Viridian some time to notice that Jessi isn't touching them anymore, except by the hand that's holding the machine. And I think at some point, Viridian just says very softly, like you can touch me.
Oh, yeah, it's not gonna look like shit, I promise. I noticed. I don't want to make you feel weird, so, but if you're cool with me just stabilizing a little bit, we're almost done.
Viridian just nods and says, that's fine.
We'll be super quick. It's not gonna look like shit, I promise.
How?
I think Viridian just says that's very reassuring.
As the session wraps up after a few hours, presumably, Viridian, how do you love the new colors on your phoenix tattoo that you've had for so long?
I think Viridian has to ask Cerise to just take a photo of it, seeing as like you can't really like, you know. So Viridian hands Cerise their phone to take a picture. And they look at it, and I think Viridian's face, I think at first is really unreadable, and I honestly think that's just so terrifying. And but you watch specifically, I think their eyes soften and their brow furrows ever so slightly, and the corners of their lips move slightly into that, slowly widening into a soft smile. And Viridian says, it looks lovely.
Jessi, who has been wringing their hands, and as composed as they were when they were doing the tattoo, they're back to the kind of nervous disposition when they interacted with Cerise that first time, the questioning. And on seeing you smile, immediately relaxes. It was a beautiful piece to start with. It's a great canvas. I hope you love it.
I do. Thank you. And Viridian, you know, I know like you wrap tattoos with like saran wrap or something, right? Like you put a plastic over it. And they go put their clothes back on, and they tip you like, I don't know, like double what you were charging or whatever. Like they tip you very well. And I think as they're paying, I think Viridian just says, the work is gorgeous. Truly.
Anytime I can do anything for either of you, you know where to find me.
And I think Viridian shoots Cerise one more look, like...
Oh my god.
Why are you embarrassing me in front of Jessi? They don't say that, but
Oh,
stop it.
Okay.
I don't know. And then we leave, and I think as we leave, Viridian will just absentmindedly put their arm, I think, on like the small of Cerise's back as they walk out together.
Yeah. And Cerise just kind of like over their shoulder says, I hope I'll see you soon, before they leave.
Another day passes.
we know about
Wendy,
those couples tattoos.
we know.
I know.
it is your
When are
turn.
Cerise and Viridian gonna get matching tattoos?
That is so up to y'all. Wendy, what do you go to Jessi for, appointment-wise?
I feel like Wendy would go to, I don't know, man. Wendy seems like she'd be really chicken shit to get like something done.
I do hair.
Hair work.
I do hair. I could do hair.
Because
I think-
didn't Wendy get her hair dyed, right?
Yeah,
so Jessi could have been the
So
person to dye your hair.
Jessi definitely probably would have been the person that did it. So Wendy is gonna go and kind of show up, and I feel like because Wendy's really close with Jet, Wendy like knows who you are, in like a we've seen each other around enough kind of way that it's not weird. Maybe if that's cool. And Wendy would just come in and just be like, "Hey,
Hey.
I had a thought."
Uh-huh.
So, what would you feel, or how would you feel if I went like all purple, like the whole thing, instead of just like the ends like we've been doing? I mean, these are cute, don't get me wrong, but like the whole thing.
Can I be really honest with you?
Yeah.
I fucking hate the PC thing. I think we should do all over.
Okay.
I think we should go all.
Same
Yeah,
page,
no, I
same
love
page,
it. I love it.
Same page.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
It's cute.
Let's do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just tired of like, because I feel like I see, so, you know what it is, honestly? I see so many Asian characters that have like the half and half, like the dark hair with like the random color streaks, and I don't know. I feel like
Like,
people are
it's
judging me
cute,
now. It's
but-
like it's just everywhere. It's like kind of just if we could just do the whole thing and I can just go full, that would I think
I think we could just elevate it. I will do like a
Yeah.
little blowout. We'll do it all over. Do you want like a when was the last time you had like a conditioning thing? Because the end bits will
I don't
they'll
even know
fry a
what
little.
the last time you did whatever you did. That's where I'm
just get in the chair, do the thing.
at. Okay.
You want anything? You good? You know where the sink is if you want to head back, throw on an apron, and I'll meet you back there in like 2.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Sweet.
And that's what Wendy will just like pull out her little pouch of blood stuff and just grab a sip of that, put it back in like a flask, and then just like assume the position.
Jessi will sorry, there are dogs upstairs. Jessi will come over, test the water out. Is this Jessi still, I think, has habits of can you feel this? Is this and it's just part of the routine of like dealing with humans all day, I think, and like asks you about the water temperature and the pressure and like just the banality of the whole small talk. She'll small talk with you, I think.
Wendy would totally love it because Wendy's seen so many 80s movies and never had a chance to like actually have that salon experience. So I feel like Wendy would make shit up, and Jessi knows that Wendy is making shit up just to have like, oh yeah, I totally went to the movies and like saw that thing. Like just because to Wendy, this is like a script that she's worked through that they've seen in movies before, and like this is how you're supposed to get your hair done. So like this is what they do.
Jessi fully plays into it and would not do that for anybody but Wendy. Like the
Yes.
thought of doing this with a breathing person pumping blood repulses them to their core. We'll do it for you, and we'll like throw in references of lines of movies that she thinks you may have seen,
Yes.
and just like reference like Never Been Kissed and Clueless, and like I gotta go back further for 80s.
Okay.
Cinema's Fire.
It's all good. 90s counts too. I feel like Wendy watched a lot of movies.
Yeah,
Uh,
90s. Yeah, it's just a bunch of like
back
90s
then.
references.
Mhm.
So what's new? How you been? What's good?
Oh, well, not dead, so that's fun. And I think that there is that we were gonna shoot like our own Weekend at Bernie's, but then like we didn't.
Who died?
We were doing some, I don't know if you know, Jet's been kind of like busy, but we've been doing stuff, and I don't want to go too into it because I don't want you to get like involved, but like
Yeah.
there's a dead guy, and I was like, we should do Weekend at Bernie's because like I love that movie. Do you remember that movie? Like when they take the guy and they like
Wait.
take him on vacation because he's dead?
I think I saw the sequel, which was not as good, but
no,
I know the one that
no. If you get a chance, go to the corner store. I think the Ajuma has it for like $1 if you ask her real nice, because sometimes they do the bootleg, American movies. I don't know if they still do that, but they did that back in my day. Anyway, so we were gonna do that, and then we just decided that was probably not gonna go off very well. Vampires carrying around a corpse is not a good idea. So
they do tend to. It's not like a prop body where they tend to kind of go off after a while. Good idea though.
Yeah.
Creative, so creative.
if you're gonna sneak a body out, you gotta look to the classics. I don't know. Nobody understands that now. I don't know what it is these days.
They don't make good like buddy body movies anymore.
They really don't. Everyone is alive in every single one of them.
Why? I don't know why you need that many people living in a film. Like, it's too
Same.
much. And it gets
Same.
samey. Like, I don't know. There's something that hits right about a good, dead buddy comedy.
Yeah. Not they don't really make them like they used to, Now you got Matt Damon saving China, and it's just not.
I mean, everything's a
I don't
reboot.
know.
They could reboot Weekend. Actually, they would reboot Weekend at Bernie's, and I would be okay with that.
I would totally be okay with that. You could even get the original guy, because you could just,
You could get the original guy because he's already dead.
it doesn't matter.
He's dead. Jesse's like washing your
Absolutely.
hair as this is happening and like changing up the temperature.
I mean, I bet I could find him. I could get Ted to find him. I bet you, if Viridian would let me.
If you're gonna
That'd be a
find
dream.
anyone, if anyone's gonna find anyone, you're gonna find them.
Yeah. I agree. And Wendy's just like, she like pulls out her flip phone, like once I get settled into the chair and like you're like working on her hair and stuff, and like isn't looking anything, just like pulls it out and is like staring at her phone like they do in the movies, like talking to Jessi, kind of just like, and then like text the group is like, I'm getting my hair done. And with like a bunch of purple emojis.
Jessi will bring
Thumbs up
you
emoji from Viridian.
very old copies of like salon parlor magazines that she's picked up from
Yes.
just years of travel, just so out of date. There are a few. What are those ones you used to get in doctor's offices all the time? There are some that like you would not find in a salon that are just so boring. And then like an iced tea and a bottle of water like brings you drinks to set on the counter, knowing you're probably not going to reach for them at any point.
I think Wendy's the type of person that would like have that Korean hospitality grained into them so much that if you brought them something, they would drink it. So they would like take their little like blood bag and just like squirt some into each drink to try to mix it to kind of like make it go down easier, because she wants to be polite. And so yeah, but like very slowly we'll take like you'll take little sips and then like put it down and like awkwardly just kind of politely drink them as slowly as possible.
At your own pace. Listen, it's fine. I got a whole palette in the Mac.
Oh yeah. No, this is great. So how are you actually? How have you been doing? How are things going? You've been doing well. Business is good, right?
God, I'm busy. This is, I mean, I don't know. I can't thank Jet enough. First off, this place is amazing. Business is great. Daytime business is great. Nighttime business is better. I could stop daytime business entirely at some point if I really wanted to. I'm good.
Good. Okay. That would be so nice too, right? To deal with like the normies.
I mean, it's good for appearances. Who the fuck stays open?
Oh, for sure.
All night.
Right? I mean,
Like, it looks weird.
you could have a side mattress business, honestly, because who checks those anymore? You know what I mean?
Oh shit.
And then
that's
just
good,
run like a
Wendy.
night salon.
Wendy, does anyone ever tell you you're so brilliant? That
Uh,
is. And she's like dying. She's putting like the foils in. She's like just in your hair.
Wendy starts like gulping water just so she doesn't have to respond to that compliment that you just gave them. And then puts it down and is like, wow, I haven't been thirsty in a long time. You know, I don't know if we get thirsty anymore, but sometimes I just need a good gulp of water.
Yeah, that was really knocked that one. Yeah, listen, I got more in the back if you want, but
Yeah.
bathroom's back there too. Well, I guess. Anyway,
No, I'm good.
if I stop the daytime thing, it'll free up some time, and I can finish this course thing, and I don't know, actually spend a little bit of time for me.
You should do that. That sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Do you think
Anyway,
you'll need a mattress business?
I'm not gonna rule it out. I don't know that the front room is really in a place right now to shut down the daytime business, but I think, listen, I think once we figure out the infrastructure of are they bunk beds? Are they luxury? What is the map it out first and then
Right. No, that makes sense. And you know what they don't have anymore? Those furniture stores that you could they had them all done up back in the day, and you could
Best
go
mattresses.
in. And it was all decorated, each little section was a little room. And I remember they used to have these those 50s tile floors that are checkered, and I would just tap dance. Anyway, I don't know if you can do that with mattress store, but we could do it. And then you can make but that would defeat the whole purpose of quitting the day job. Never mind. We'll just go straight mattress store so nobody has to work there. And then
business.
We could fill it with a bunch of ghouls. It'll be good. I'll talk to Viridian. You just let me know when you're ready, and we can get that set up for you.
Jessi realizes that the encouragement they've given has maybe gone a little too far.
Why are we volunteering me?
Yeah. Hey. Met Viridian for the first time. They were great.
Oh, aren't they?
A little not terrifying, but the command thing.
Oh no, you can say terrifying. The first time they came to my house, I almost threw up. I don't even know if we can do that, but I almost did.
I wanted to throw up. I thought I was gonna.
Yes. It's just, they're so perfect, and then they walk into a room, and I feel like the room has to be perfect because they are so I can't. Anyway, now I have a new apartment, so I don't have to throw up as much, but
Oh, good. What's the new place like?
Oh, it's where Cerise, right? You've met Cerise by now?
Yeah, I met Cerise too.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
okay. So there's an apartment that Cerise lives in, and I kind of think it was when people buy you body wash for Christmas, and you're kind of is this because I smell, or is this because you want to give me body wash? And Rudy helped me get an apartment there. So I was like, is this because you don't like coming to my house, or is this because you really want me to live in a better place? I wasn't really sure. So, but you know what? I ran with it, and we've been shopping, and they've just been, they helped me open my business again, and it's just been a really good time. Yeah. But so I live there, and it's I mean, you can come by whenever. Doesn't matter. Judge stops by whenever he wants. I mean,
That'd be so cool. I would love that.
yeah, totally. We can watch
Oh,
the
I'll
old
bring.
movies.
I'll go to the corner. I'll bring Weekend at Bernie's 1.
Yes.
I feel like I missed a lot seeing the sequel without having seen the first one, and then.
Honestly, the sequel's just trash. It can just go in the garbage.
I'll bring that. That'll be great.
Perfect.
Jack can stay at home.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. He's okay, right? Everything's good. He's all right.
I think he's all right.
Okay. All right.
You think he's all right?
I don't think he's not all right. I just feel like he's been a little more
busy.
Yeah. Something different. I don't know. I mean, we went through a lot, though, the almost dying and things. So,
I mean, that'll do it. But yeah, I mean, I'm not worried.
Also, this purple looks amazing.
So fucking good.
Way better.
Do so. I'll get out of the frame if you want to do like a quick little, unless you want
A
me.
what? A what?
Here, let me see your phone. Can I see your phone a sec?
Oh, yeah, sure. Wendy, I'll hand it over.
And they open it up and is looking. Is this like a Motorola Razr? Is this like a?
It's like a newer flip phone because Viridian and Cerise refused to be seen with Wendy with her Nokia that she is desperate to hold on to.
Great. Jessi will open up the camera and put on like the portrait version for like the blurring and hand it back over to you. And like hold your hand up to point and take a selfie. Out a little bit.
Okay. Whoa. All right. It does that. Oh, that's not bad. I didn't know it did that.
Yeah. Go ahead and send that to the group.
Yeah, totally doing that one.
Selfies taken, hair done. 3 of our coterie incredibly beautifully done up. We come to a more recent scene now. Jet, whether or not it's an appointment that you come your way over here for, we go back to the end of last episode where you have received a text message. This specific text message from Kyun, your loyal runner, pusher.
Friend.
At this point now, 21 or so. Or however old he is or says that he is at this point. He texts you. Could we revisit the conversation about me turning?
I just reply with a basic no.
Colon / like a crooked sort of face. Okay, well, do you mind at least seeing me today? I'm at Jessi's tattoo parlor.
And I think Jet replies with a corn dog emoji, meaning if he wants street food or anything.
Oh, hell yeah.
Then replies J ? Meaning to ask if Jessi wants anything.
On the other end, Jessi will like tap Kyun and just coffee. Just big fucking coffee.
Big fucking coffee.
Okay. I'm just gonna send a text that says on my way.
Jessi, you have Kyun on top of one of your the stereo tables, and rather than a nose piercing, rather than a haircut, rather than a tattoo, you are patching up rather than patch up, you're not a doctor. Although certain forgeries of medical licenses here and there, whatever. Kyun came to you with a broken nose.
Jessi. If you just, and she's gonna knock this shit off, you wouldn't be back here every week with a crooked nose. You know it's gonna heal this way this time, right?
It's fine. Do you have Xanax or anything? You got like...
I'm giving you fucking Xanax.
Like Ativan?
No, I'll give you a couple of ibuprofen. You gonna knock this shit off, or are we gonna keep seeing you back here?
Can I get 8 ibuprofen?
Fucking Xanax. And she goes to the
Do
cupboard.
you have like he definitely asks for like, I don't know, a wine cooler or like whatever alcohol you have also on top of the 8 ibuprofen that he wants.
Where do you think you are? I'm sorry. I know your nose is broken, but how hard did he hit you?
It's broken, man. I don't know.
Damn. She goes over to a little cooler on the side. And this is a client thing. This is not like a personal drink. This is like a if you really truly need a beverage, and gets out like a Smirnoff Ice.
Yeah, totally.
Just a weak little better.
Hell yeah. And I think before drinking it or anything, just kind of like puts it like next to his nose. Okay, Jessi, we're gonna do this. You're a doctor. Just snap it back. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yep. Okay. And Jesse's gonna.
And Jet, you come in on this at a hilarious time, where Jessi seems to be however Jesse's process of this, whatever younger siblings or whoever you've had to do this before to Kyun's nose makes a horrific snapping noise.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I asked for Xanax or something. Oh shit. And just like Kyun's face is like nose bleeding. Like just like sort of like the front of like a white shirt, just like sort of soaked in like these streaks of his blood. This like, you know, this bleached blonde, like messy looking kid, with seemingly designer jeans and more expensive looking jewelry.
The fuck is happening here?
Jesse pats Kyun on the side. Walk it off, kid. You've been in here for worse. Hey.
Hey. Yo, Kyun. What's going on?
What's up?
Don't what's up me. What's going on?
I got my fucking nose gets broken. It's no problem.
What, did you smash it in a wall? Like, did you fall over?
It got smashed in a wall by another person.
And I think you see Jet's demeanor change a lot. And I think the coterie is familiar with this shift. Whenever his friends or, you know, people who are his inner circle get hurt, he gets into kind of fight mode. And Jessi has definitely seen this before. Who did it?
Don't worry about it.
No, who did it?
If I could even remember, maybe I would tell you. But hey, listen. I started it. So it's not anything you have to, you know, go out of your way for necessarily. Just I learned my mistake. I look over, Chen looks over to Jessi. This is the first time this has happened, and that's a lie.
Can I roll
yeah,
for
go
insight?
for it. And Jessi, how do you respond to Kyun trying to loop you into this?
They don't say anything just yet, but their face immediately, as they are cleaning up, I think, the dressing from Kyun, just pulls a face while listening in on this whole thing.
2 successes.
Jet, with only 2 successes, it seems it could be true. Maybe. You're not sure how many times you've seen Kyun fight or start fights. It's not really, he's a skinny kind of kid, like not really not emotionally. He's not really emotionally coordinated either, but not very like coordinated in terms of like hand-eye coordination or anything necessarily. His biggest strength is that he is unassuming.
I dropped the bag of food. I hand Liz keep saying Liz. So used to it. I had Jessi their coffee. And I just tell him like go clean yourself up. This is disgusting and embarrassing.
Yeah. I got it. And then Ken will go to like the bathroom.
Jessi, what really happened?
He wasn't going to talk about it. And I was just going to wait for you to get here to get it out of him. It's none of my fucking business. He turns up like this. I patch him up. I send him out.
Has he ever mentioned who did this?
Not to me.
Thanks. I mean...
I'd tell you, but what do you think I'm going to do about it?
Yeah. I really appreciate putting the kid out. I know it doesn't... I know we don't really necessarily have to do things like it, but I appreciate you.
Yeah, but you do, though. And for this, I'm not going to not.
Yeah, of course. I believe this is the same night after his conversation with Cerise, correct? I think you see Jet just slump in a chair, just exhausted, and pretty much is... I think you know him enough to know that something's wrong, or at least something's bothering him.
I think seeing Jet slump down, Jesse's going to go over, and in that kind of, when you've lived with somebody for so long, and you can kind of, you know how to approach, and you can read their body language, and they kind of come over to you, and they lean into you sitting down and sort of perch their side on the arm of this chair and put their other arm around your side and sort of rub a little bit. You wanna get into it?
I saw Cerise today.
How'd that go?
Not well. It hasn't been going well for quite some time. Been trying to figure out how to fix things, but it's not that easy. Especially with everything that's going with Natalie. God knows where she is right now. This person that I'm asking help for isn't getting back to me. And then now Kyun's a mess. Asking me to turn him. And
Hey, that is none of my fucking... He's brought it up before, but...
it's just, I mean, you never asked me for that.
And I never will.
And I can't. And even if I could, I don't want unlife for him. It's rough, it's messy. If real life, if every day is already dramatic for us, then this is a whole nother thing. I'm just scared that even if I keep saying no, he might just look for it somewhere else.
I mean, I guess that's the thing. If not you, then who? If the kid's really that determined to... He seems hell-bent on bringing himself in here half close to death anyway.
Fuck.
But then how are you going to keep him safe if you don't?
I'm trying.
He's close to this, Jet.
I know, and I'm trying. I have my people doing what they can.
I'll do this as long as you need me to. But I can't stash this kid when he winds up in a bag. That's not an argument for, I'm just saying.
I know. Now of all times, it's just a bit much. And I think I'm spread a little too thin.
Yeah, how are you doing? You're hitting the gas kind of full on.
Yeah. Well, good news is, business is great. This place is all ours, so we don't have to worry about it. Wendy's business is going well. Those hunters that we were talking about seem to lay low recently, and not big of a problem. And above table, he's mentioned Natalie and the situation where he had to stake this La Sombra kindred, and I'm trying to help Natalie, but doesn't want my help, or at least she doesn't know how to accept it right now. Fucking Cinnabar won't get back to me after saying that they might know someone who can help her.
What the hell's taking him so long?
God knows. I don't know if he's even in town.
You want me to talk to anyone? You want me to see if anyone's...
I mean, it would help. But, this thing with Cerise... And they can't help it. This just happens when they feed. But when they feed on people, there's this sort of infatuation, and just hard for me to be split between Cerise and Natalie. I don't know.
Knock, knock. Kiana's at the doorway of the sterile room without his shirt now. Like, blood kind of rubbed around a little bit. Like, he didn't do a fantastic job, but he has like a white towel that he just kind of has on his nose from Jessi's bathroom. What are you talking about?
Jessi gestures for Kian to come over here, and while this happens, we'll take out very small Band-Aid and just kind of plaster up and clean up what he hasn't.
We're talking about things. What's going on? What's going on your side? How's the business going, and why are you getting into so many fights?
It was just the one fight.
Ken, you don't have to lie to me. I'm not your father, and I'm not going to be mad. Just care.
Yeah. I'm sure you do. But I feel like somebody that might care about me a little bit more would hook me up, you know?
Do you even understand what you're asking for?
I mean, can I understand anything somebody won't really tell me about?
What do you want to know?
If I've been doing this, I don't know, since I was practically a kid. And then working under you has been, I don't know. It's eye-opening. It's fucking incredible stuff that I get to see and do, and the people that I'm connected to just by the routes that I go. So useful to you if I did need to sleep, did need to eat.
You're useful
Fucked
enough.
off.
You're doing a lot, and I'm proud of you. You're very talented without even having this thing that you don't even understand.
What I'm seeing, and correct me if I'm wrong, I guess, is that you can make things happen out of shit and piss and turn it into gold. And you can make apparently these dead creatures that are apparently all over the world digest food, get tattoos, even though they didn't die with those fucking tattoos.
Kyun, I was a fluke. The people that we work with, dime a dozen. There's no guarantee that you end up like me or anybody else. You could end up like Viridian or Cerise, which aren't detriment to them, but there's a lot of burden with it.
I don't want to be like them.
Well, I can't guarantee that you won't.
Well, I mean, the last time I brought this up, we didn't really talk through it completely, but what is the issue then? If you're not going to do it, if somebody else like you does it?
Are you
Jessi
willing...
immediately shoots Jet a look.
Yeah, are you willing to be... See, the relationship between Cerise and Viridian is lucky. They genuinely care for each other and they love each other. The person that's going to turn you might not. Might just see you as a tool.
I don't need... One and done. Drop me on the side of the street.
That's not how it works. They have a hold on you. Something supernatural that you can't even fight. I want you to have your free will, and I want you to be out of danger. Do you think that me and Wendy are all just living it up and having fun? About 3 months ago, we got ambushed. Just because of what we are. And we had to do our darnest just to get the army off our backs. Ken, once you're in this, those are going to be your problems too. And I can only do so much to protect you from that. And I know you're capable. But sometimes, capable just isn't enough. Sometimes your luck runs out. And I don't know when mine is. But that's why I can't do that for you. And even if I wanted to, I just can't. I literally can't. Because if you ask me as soon... Of course. I tried to ghoul someone before, it didn't work. If I can't do that, then I can't embrace you. And if you ask me as soon as I got turned, I probably would have. If I could. But now that I know that I've seen everything, it's not a good idea.
Hyun looks, who has been like is smiling this entire time, but is like sort of swaying, like fidgeting, and the sort of like restless stance of like frustrated like young man really becomes apparent. And then as he sort of is looking for something, for some loose thread, he locks eyes with you, Jessi. Well, what do you think about it, Jessi?
I think it's none of my fucking business. I told you before.
Not even your fucking, everything seems, it's like under, not your fucking business, huh?
What I do see is you're in here a lot, and I see you have a real interest for getting into shit that you shouldn't. Would it help to be stronger? Maybe. Would it help to know more? Probably. But I think you should listen to Jet. I think you should trust Jet.
Oh, so you're not getting into stuff too. You're not also maybe taking some classes.
Oh, you want to bring up my classes, kid? You want to... What? I'm auditing some classes. You want to... Go ahead. A couple of art courses.
Auditing some classes too, Jessi.
Just over at the university, they started accepting some audit courses. You know what? This isn't about me. This isn't about the courses that I'm... You know what? This is about what you're asking Jet for, and that's... And she gets visibly disturbed.
Jet kind of puts his hand on Jessie's hand. You know what, kid? We're gonna do two things tonight. First, you're gonna tell me who did that to you. I'm gonna take care of that. And next, I think you should meet some people who have been in my position for a lot longer than I have. Maybe they can talk sense into you. And if that is the case, after that you feel like you still want it, I don't know, join the Hwarang, talk to Mama, I don't give a fuck. But if you do that, then it's over. We don't work with each other anymore. Whatever I give you, whatever you're left with, that's yours. But I won't provide for you anymore. I just need you to think about it. I'll eat your fucking food. Once you're done, we'll take care of that first thing.
Hyun wordlessly sort of takes the street food that is his, and rather than answering or saying anything else, just sort of takes the bag and like walks out of the tattoo parlor.
I think Jet looks at Jessi. He's like, I don't know what to do anymore.
I think I think it's a turning point. I think this kid is determined, and I think you're gonna have to scare him a bit. He's a good kid.
I
He's a
know.
real good kid.
I know. These classes good for you?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why he thinks it's such a big fucking deal bringing it up. They're just there's some art classes. I started taking some just bullshit art history just to get a little bit more, technical and find out a little bit more. Anyway, I'm in class and I'm doing really well. I'm getting really good feedback and it's not like it was before, and I'm motivated and I want to be there and it's interesting. And the professor's fucking like he's weird. He's cool, but like, attentive. Really attentive. And so knowledgeable, but like approachable, not like a pretentious.
It's great.
Jet,
Yes.
give me a wits insight, please. I'll roll for you, Jessi.
2 successes again.
When Jessi mentions this professor's name, there's like a different lilt, like the lyre sort of lilt to Jessi's voice that maybe you are familiar with. That it is genuinely great classes, genuinely interesting professor, sure, but there's something extra.
Let's see. I already know that things are getting hairy, and I wanted to set this up for you to make sure that you have all you want. You've been a really good friend to me, confidant, always been there. It's getting too much for you. I can step away.
I'm too much. I'm sorry, I didn't realize, are there contingencies here now? I can't, you don't want me to take these courses?
No. I want you to take these courses. There are just a lot of things that are happening. And I want you to be happy. And I want you to be safe. And I can trust that, unlike Kyun, you can take care of yourself. And I'm happy that I was able to set this up for you. But if this is... you want to go fully take studies, I just want to make sure that everything is okay and safe and fine, because I just can't have other people getting hurt in what may come.
Jet, I'm good. I'm so good. I know you got a lot on. I'm okay. Are you? I'm not gonna be another thing that you have to worry about. This is good. It could be for the business, but I can juggle. I've been spending a little bit more time on some extra uh research, not homework, but like just some extra areas of study and interest, but it's not going to overtake anything. Certainly not this.
I don't worry about that. I don't want my shit getting in the way of your shit.
You don't have to worry about that.
Okay. Look, let me go find the kid, so he doesn't get himself in trouble, and I'll deal with whoever fucked him up.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this shit in the wash. I can't just leave it around.
And I think through the years that Jessi and Jet have stayed together as like roommates and kind of like have this sibling thing going on, I think they probably have like a weird secret handshake, and they do that, like some tingly fingers, whatever, and he gives like a quick side hug and a kiss to the forehead, and I was like, all right, let me know if you need anything, all right?
Yeah, man. They like lean into it, do the same back, offer their forehead.
Yeah.
I'm good, you know. Bullshit.
He just winks and just starts heading out, trying to look for Ken.
As you go out for Ken, I think the one last sort of thing before we get to break. The universe knows in this moment that Ken is externalizing frustrations on Jessi to Jet. So what that means in this scene, Jet, you get a text from Ken, who doesn't seem to be anywhere immediately visible. But you get a name, just a name, Mark DeRossi. And then,
yeah.
Why don't we go on to break and stick around for some Bad House announcements and for some more drama for part 2 of this episode. We will see you very soon. Welcome back. Bad House RPG events. This is the week of finales. So Wednesday, Shattered Dawn, Cyberpunk finale.
Wednesday's next week. Sorry, forgot to mention that.
Next Wednesday, Shattered Dawn, the finale episode. This Thursday, Ashes of New Amsterdam, a Mage Story finale. And this Friday, Symphony of Silos, a beautiful story told by our wonderful Chris Cologne. That will be the final episode as well for a quest story. Getting right back into it. Viridian, you just spill? Have a little
I
spill?
spilled drink down my chest.
Okay,
all
great.
the way down
Amazing.
in there.
This feels like the start of a show we can't have on here.
Watch
I
the
know.
viewers skyrocket.
I mean, that's fine. Viridian, it is
Yes.
the time for a follow-up meeting of sorts. The executives, the salarymen, however they really brand themselves these days or lately, their direction has gone to metaphorical shit. You have been contacted as of the last few months or so by an Alice Suh. Alice, the seemingly this put together secretarial assistant, sort of I think you found a hilarious foil to Calliope in the way that Calliope is a bit frazzled, but during business, she has her head on straight. And Alice, the opposite direction. You get these professional emails and text correspondences and calls. And today, on your way to what seems to be a hotel location, on the phone, Alice's voice, Alice, this bespectacled, sort of nearing middle-aged woman with brown hair and more of like a cream suit wearing style. You hear in the background what seems to be like a busy sort of almost party, that like ambient murmur of what seems to be like someone in a giant room with like at least hundreds of people. A song. Are we expecting you relatively soon? What's the ETA that we can expect? The expected a time of arrival, estimated.
I think so. Viridian's in the car with a lot of people. It's myself, Cerise, Wendy, Cal's driving, and Ted is in the front seat or in the passenger seat. And Viridian's in the car. I think they sit behind the driver, and just on the phone. Everyone I think can hear the murmur from the phone. Like you can hear the background noise, and whoever's sitting next to me, I think Cerise, sees Viridian like squint and lean forward, and Viridian says, "It's so noisy. Can you step outside? Where are you?"
You hear her running. You hear like heels, just running. And then you hear like this, sort of the ambient like crickets or whatever. Yes. When can we? I don't have to yell anymore. When can we expect you?
How many people are at this meeting?
Oh no. It's we will be meeting separately. There is just a general executives gala that I forgot about. We won't. If you don't want to participate, you certainly do not have to. It's just sort of like a charity, a benefit of sorts. It's not important.
Okay. And Viridian looks out the window. How far away are
I think you are basically coming up to what seems to be like the valets. There's like so many valets, like a wildly lit sort of garden pathway of this like grandiose hotel. Just so many what seems to be like important people sort of coming into what seems to be like a past midnight party. And what are notably, I think, ghouls sort of directing and like initiating the path direction and stuff. So you're fully have pulled up essentially. You just have to Calliope just has to get parked, or rather not parked, but she has to like make sure that the valet has everything situated, and all of you are free to basically step out of the car in like 2 minutes.
Cool. Viridian into the phone says, I'll be there in about 10 to 15.
Okay, great. Amazing. Great. And then she just hangs up.
And Viridian hangs up and just... Sorry, what were you saying?
Yeah, everyone in the car, was it on speakerphone, or was it you just had it?
Viridian has turned the volume up because it's hard to hear. So everyone, it's kind of that thing where like it wasn't on speakerphone, but people could hear the conversation anyway.
Got it, yeah. Everyone, how does everyone react just to that Viridian's response and also what seems to be a wild phone call?
Cerise being right next to Viridian, definitely heard the entire conversation, and they just kind of were looking over incredulously at Viridian the whole time, growing more and more surprised at where the conversation is going, and just says, "Were we supposed to be attending a gala?"
Did Alice tell Viridian about this gala?
No.
Or was that news to me? Oh, incredible.
News to you.
So
news
Viridian,
to Alice.
Just Viridian looks over to Cerise and just says, I wasn't aware there was a gala. I did not dress for a gala. I dressed for a business meeting.
Did you know,
They look a little peeved.
Did I know?
Did anybody tell you about a gala?
No, they're just lucky I'm wearing a blazer.
Cal and Viridian, asks Cal if Cal heard anything about a gala.
Calliope is like fully concentrated in making sure that she's not gonna like bump into with like in the big car that all of y'all are in, bump into like the narrow sort of like driveway that the hotel has, and she just sort of says, I sounds like this person maybe is spread a little thin. So
Alice,
I don't know.
I know you've worked with her before.
She's okay.
And I think Viridian just like scoffs a little and just says, yeah, you're better.
I know.
Well, you better hope that Alice is just spread a little thin and this isn't some weird attempt to push you out, Viridian, of whatever conversations are being had here.
Oh, I don't think it's that. And Viridian will get out of the car and they will say, so we have 10 minutes. And Viridian is kind of like staring off into the distance, and looks around at the group and just says, I believe in my emails this morning, I was told that the meeting would be upstairs in one of those conference rooms. Shall we?
You ready, Wendy?
Yeah, totally. And while all this is happening, Wendy is being a really good friend and texting Jet and is like, hey, I don't know what happened, but apparently this business meeting is now a gala. I just wanted to warn you to like dress nice because sometimes you're like me and don't do that. I just happen to be wearing a blazer today. And then Wendy's gonna send like a little like outfit of the day selfie and be like, you know, we could match or something. Anyway, see you soon. Bye. And then like Wendy like shares their location with Ted.
Jet's
Yeah,
dealing
no,
with something else for now, so he's gonna get to
Well,
that when
you
he
know.
sees it.
I
So-
have a question, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a role or something that I can do for like a preparedness type of deal?
Ooh, that's good.
Oh, like an etiquette
Because-
For
rule?
like, for what?
Because my thought is that Cerise is the kind of person who I feel like reasonably could be said to keep spare like emergency outfits in like the trunk of Viridian's car. But I don't want to just say that.
I honestly think at least Cal has outfits for Viridian in Viridian's car, because that's just something that I think is fairly standard for
Did we
CEOs
give Cal that?
and their drivers and whatnot.
Did we give Cal that new merit?
Oh yeah, there is that thing. Yeah, the merit for always having
that's
stuff in the
right.
car.
That's right.
Yeah.
I
No.
mean, Cerise, let's just do this for fun. Give me a
Yeah,
wits
roll for
etiquette.
fun.
All right. I actually have 0 in etiquette, so that's fucking hilarious.
What's your wits?
3.
That's not bad.
I got 1 success, but I'm gonna use one of my free rerolls that people were so nice.
Okay, great.
To reroll 1 die.
Yay.
Well, fuck. Still 1 success.
Okay. You. I don't know. I think with 1 success, we could call it like a different pair of shoes that maybe are like a bit more elegant or, you know, in style, and maybe like a like not a blazer, maybe more of like a dressier sort of top that you can kind of lace and make like a nice sort of black slacks situation seem like a more elegant outfit.
All right, interesting. Well, I mean, Cerise doesn't wear black, so I think Cerise will take a look in the trunk and remember that they had something there, but they can't remember what. And they look at it and they kind of hold up the like top, and they hold up the shoes in the other hand, and they kind of look over at Wendy. What do you think?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And they will just kind of like hand it over to Wendy.
And as we grow up, Wendy will probably just change it in the elevator or something because they don't care.
That's so fair.
In the elevator.
Just shoes in a
Mockingjay
top.
moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can Viridian have an outfit in the car? It's just like an
Sure.
outfit that
Sure.
okay.
Do you want to give me a wits etiquette just to see what happens?
Yes, I would love to give you a okay. I'm good at this, maybe. Okay.
Add an extra die just for Calliope's merit.
Ooh.
Okay, that's 3 successes then.
Sure. Yeah. You can have essentially like I wouldn't say like jewelry or like more specific pieces, like
Yeah, no jewelry, but
stuff.
like a dress. A dress.
Yeah,
or something.
yeah. Certainly a dress. Certainly a dress, yeah.
Okay. So I think Cal pulls Viridian's emergency party dress from the trunk. You know, it's been dry cleaned. It's in, and Cal just holds it. And I think we, all of us, because Ted's coming too. So the valet takes the car, and all 5 of us.
Yep.
Will go up in the elevator. And I'm going to where they told me this meeting was, but I'm not going to go to that room directly. I'm going to find a bathroom to change my outfit in. Which is why Viridian was like 10 to 15, even though we were right out front.
Yeah.
So Viridian will come back out in their dress, yeah.
Got it. As Viridian changes, everyone else, and eventually Viridian, will see that this is indeed a gala proper. It seems to be like an auction setup. And there's like balloon arches and like beautiful flower baskets. And what seems to be like a different sort of buffet of sorts. There are blood bags and there are animals, and there seem to be a very sort of a familiar sight. The vessels, like the herds, carrying little champagne flutes of their own blood, with the little name cards of the types that, you know, they're working with. And what'd you say?
Cop.
Cop, right. Probably more blood types, more humors, probably. If anyone wants to get any refreshments, so to speak, you are certainly free to. It is open for everyone that was given an invitation. And all of you are basically sort of directed by just like a few like runners or something of Ms. Sa will be seeing you in the conference room in the whatever corridor.
So, to clarify, because I, the player, am a little confused. So the meeting is still taking place in a separate little room. There just happens to be a gala that was
gala.
Okay, that was sprung on Viridian, because we all know Viridian loves surprise social events.
Yeah, right. Like there was no expectation for y'all to be a part of it, but it was just seemingly something that was scheduled, and Alice forgot about it.
Incredible. Lovely. Great job. Yeah. So Viridian will walk with their entourage to this meeting in the conference room.
There is
on the
a
way.
yeah.
Sorry, on the way, Cerise is going to swipe a champagne flute if they can find one that is to their liking.
Totally. You can ask around, just sort of, yeah, like, how corrupt is this person? How corrupt
Well,
are
what's
you?
their job?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you do for
Um,
work?
Eventually,
I'm a
you
landlord.
find
Okay.
right, exactly. If you find something like that, um, all of you go up a glass elevator, sort of looking down at all of the people under you, all of the other kindred, uh, like the off, like goat bleeding, like a prized goat or something. A white goat, uh, and you make it up to a beautiful sort of floor where there are conference rooms with like golden plaques to them, and they all have like different names of like different what seems interestingly mythological creatures. There's like the Gorgon room that seems to be flavored with like a green velvet, like sort of like the door seems to be open and there seems to be people like having their own meeting, like green sort of velvet. In another, um, whatever the lion in the Heracles trials was called, and all of you enter into the conference room titled the Hydra. And as you walk in, you see a woman, classically in a cream suit, brown hair, in what seems to be now like a messily thrown together bun, bespectacled, uh, somehow has like a landline phone, like a hotel phone, like just brought all the way here, and is just like sort of loudly making like some phone calls and like puts it down. Like that's so as you've entered, has answered two different calls, what seems to be into the hotel. And then once all of you make your way in, it's a large room. Alice huffs, just like exhales. Okay. Yes, the Nemean line. Welcome, welcome, all of you. Welcome, everyone. Please take a seat. My name is Alice Sa. I was longtime secretarial assistant, sort of executive assistant of the Min family, Min Financial, and now just sort of a general worker for general bank work and such. Apologies for my frazzled disposition. Welcome, all of you. Can I get anyone running for anything? I see that you have some other refreshments. Is anything wrong with that gentleman? And Ted just sort of looks like, this is my face. And she just goes, okay. And Cal and Ted, uh-oh, I hope my internet is okay. Cal and Ted sort of stand to the back, and wherever y'all would like to situate yourselves. Okay. Thank you so much, Viridian. Song. We would love to continue this conversation that we have been having in our own, the other little circles that we have. And thank you for your coterie and all the sort of people that you do business with. Before I properly get into it, do you have any questions for me?
So real quickly, in this room, is it just Alice and us, or are there other executives also here? Or is Alice like speaking for the rest of them? Because they're all partying at the gala that
It's just
no one
y'all.
told me about. Okay. So then I think Viridian will take a seat, not at like the either head end table, but they'll like go around to the far side of the table and just sit in one of the chairs facing the door. And I'm assuming y'all just fill in around me on my side of the table.
Yeah, Cerise would come and sit down next to wherever Viridian chooses, but would, on the way over, passing Alice, would hand her the empty champagne flute now of blood that they had taken and would say, I would love a refill. Same kind. I'm sure you'll figure it out.
Oh, absolutely. And then Alice will kind of like, this is a big room. She sprints over to the door and just sort of like flags very quickly over for one of her runners and just sort of says, get another one of these, whatever it is. And then it runs back. Yes. So, and also just remind me, Jay, did Viridian have any questions before Alice basically just sort of pitches this this request to you?
I don't think so. I don't because Viridian
Okay.
Viridian probably fed before coming to the meeting, and I think their mind is still like going with the whole like, why did no one tell me there was a gala? And then also that was confusing because Viridian changed for the gala, but now we're in the business meeting as it was, and Viridian feels very overdressed.
No, you can pretend that you were at the gala when the executives come in. You could be like, oh, of course I was there. I'm dressed for it.
So true. So true. But yeah, Viridian doesn't have any questions, no. So I think they just sit down, they make eye contact with Alice, and they just gesture for Alice to take a seat, and they just say, I have an inkling as to what you might have called me here to discuss. So why don't you have a seat, take a breath, and let's talk.
Okay. So, as we all know, order as we previously knew it, although we know that it was not perfect, it was not a sustainable system with which someone who has just been in just doing this for as long as she has been, Min Financial has stagnated, but is still afloat. We are still doing plenty more than breaking even as far as certain markets goes or so. But there has been a concern. There are a few concerns. That being the specific, a very aggressive breaking away in partnership of the Hinos. And there was already plenty of concern between the Min family and the Hinos and all manner of things. But there are some things that we're not sure of. We're not 100% of, but we have reasonable reason. We're within our right to understand that we have been receiving some more violent threats on certain deals. Specifically, Shaheen, I know that you have taken on a case as of recently.
Yes, I have. For the Min family, in effect.
There is no concern with that in particular. But there certainly has been some unsettling news coming to the more subsidiary branches, not anywhere directly to any main branches, any of the executive branches, but to local banks. Threats of action to be done against Young Chul to see if we can ensure that the case fails.
I'm sorry, are you suggesting that Young Chul is being threatened through these local banks?
It seems to be a power play of sorts, as a clear ripping apart, divorce or so. The Hinos have become more and more unstable by the minute, and considering Ophelia is done away with, and we have new players in the Min family. Well, we were wondering, looking direction back to Viridian, with Debbie gone, with David long since gone, what seems to be the most drama-free option for all of us involved is if we had a very secure, stable hand. Certainly, there are some of us that have been here for much longer than all of you. Not me. But as our older ones seem to be phasing out into a more retirement phase, wanting to not wanting too much to do with this life anymore as it is. There are still many people that still very much need to be taken care of. Song-Shi, we would continue to ask and implore if you would consider taking on the role of the leader of the executives, the people making money in Itaewon, in Seoul proper of the underground. People need direction. Otherwise, it is very much so a clucking hens circle. People love to talk, people love to gossip, people love certain things. Just unfortunately, there are, even in my very capable hands, there are some things that I cannot ensure won't happen.
Like what?
I'm a lowly ghoul. I am not one that is so technically abled, not so as far as arms go or being able to protect myself or any other people. My eyes are in the numbers, in the paperwork, in the not needing to sleep, making sure that everyone is doing just fine, everyone having fun, everyone having their money. I can do certainly many arrangements for certain things to be hidden or otherwise, but I cannot hide bodies.
You're muted, Jen.
I can hide bodies. I mean, if you need someone, just saying.
Well, I will certainly make my interest known if that is what is absolutely necessary. We're hoping that that does not become the case, is what I mean.
Oh,
We are
yeah,
not
I mean, of course,
we're
last
not the
resort.
scrappy folk. We are the the bread makers.
Uh-huh.
Viridian shoots Wendy a look that is basically just kind of like a, like, what are you doing? Like, stop talking. Like, this
think
is just
what-
not information that you
cough.
volunteer.
I think what Wendy was trying to say was that there are many people here that are quite capable of handling all of the different tasks that you perhaps, Alice, are not able to, and that's what we have been doing thus far.
And I'm sort of wondering if you'd like to dress up these wonderful deeds that you are already doing with a glamour title of sorts, if that is what it feels like to you, as seeing as you are already doing such wonderful work. If there is someone that we can attach a name to, that is the first step to this instinct that we have to have someone take care of us.
I think Viridian will just hold a hand up to signal to her to stop talking, and they just shake their head ever so slightly, and Viridian says, I don't need a title. I frankly don't want one. Why are you asking me?
Well, you were the confidant of Tebi Nim. Well, she was the inheritor, and similarly, on the parallel, Debbie was the confidant of Ophelia. And the context with which Ophelia has left, I don't trust with anyone the godchildren, unfortunately, are split all around the country, or the world, even. And Hyunmi, she's just entered into the role. And
So you want my experience?
yes. Your experience, your expertise, your prowess. You've been here for an exceptionally significant time, and within that time, you have proven yourself and your business to be successful, far from stagnating, far from breaking even.
It's because I don't settle.
Exactly.
Now, is this something that the others have agreed to, or are you approaching me alone?
I am approaching you with perhaps almost unanimous interest in you.
Almost. Who are the detractors? I think it's important to know.
There's not anyone specifically disagreeing. There are just smaller companies that don't necessarily need to have an opinion as strong as this one.
What about Young Chol? What does he think?
If Young Chol had his say, he would own the banks, everyone's shares of whatever businesses are done with the banks. We're all selfish creatures, but he is truly someone that does not abide by common etiquette, even.
He doesn't have the skills to behave the way that he does. He's not worth worrying about.
I'm inclined to agree.
I think Viridian's face throughout this whole meeting has been set into a particular facial expression that really has not wavered. I think Cerise and even Wendy would know that that this absolutely is something that Viridian does when they are doing business. It is a facade that they put on, where they basically become extremely hard to read. Something that Viridian knows is the reason why they excel in business. You can't show your whole hand. And I think the first change in expression now, as sort of silence falls over the room, Viridian's brow furrows and they are staring at Alice. And I think after a pause, Viridian says, "What exactly is expected of me? Should I take on this role?"
Well, to also just very quickly to sidetrack, we made sure to. I didn't want to make this set in stone necessarily, but Jet, our friend Jet, is not here, correct?
I mean, I can call him. Like if we need him here.
Oh
But-
no.
Okay.
That's actually a good point. Is there a reason that you haven't asked Jet for this position?
I mean, I can put him on speakerphone.
No, oh, no, that is absolutely not needed.
Okay.
Jet is far too young. It would be a concern of no one taking him seriously. His business efforts not necessarily climbing the heights of that of Viridian.
I think Viridian also face changes again when Jet is mentioned, and she sits forward just a little bit and looks directly at Alice and says, "I take Jet seriously."
And certainly. Just unfortunately, he wouldn't be taken seriously. The greater executive group population, just the rest of us. To speak
And
of the
you are
expectation.
the judge of that?
No, not only I. It is the culture of things.
I don't really
The
matter.
culture.
I don't really care at all. You ask me. I wouldn't really want the job.
Jet, what are you wearing as you pop into the Hydra conference room?
I'm still wearing the same outfit I was wearing. And I just say, is this really an important thing that I have to be in? I have quite the night. I have things to take care of. What is this about? Taking over whatever?
Oh, as you said, nothing that you to worry yourself with.
Well, by that tone, it seems like I should be worried about it.
Why don't we, ignoring Jet a little bit, Viridian, if you don't have an answer, I'm sure we could extend this offer for another week or so. We would just like to have an answer by at least a month.
I think Viridian looks across the table at Alice and folds their hands in front of them, and they just say, "You seem to want me to take up this position. If you truly think I'm the best for the job, you would give me as much time as I need to consider it, correct?"
It's not like you have a
Certainly.
choice.
Of course. Yes. Um,
And I also don't believe that by diminishing the efforts of my business partner here, and Viridian gestures to Jet, I don't think by diminishing his efforts makes me feel good at all.
perhaps I have gone about this the absolute wrong way. Why don't why don't we settle this for another meeting or so? I will
Is it
have
going to be another
washed mouth out
surprise
by
gala?
then. There should not be.
Good. Then I will consider this. And I think Viridian kind of finally breaks eye contact with Alice to look to their right where Cerise is sitting, and just for a moment, and then looks back at Alice, and Viridian says, "Well, I will take some time to consider all of what you are asking of me. If I don't step up, who or what is your backup plan?"
We would be risking putting a lot on Hyunmi's back. Even
understand.
worse, considering Youngchul.
I think Viridian's facial expression changes just a little bit, because I think inwardly Viridian's like, okay, I really don't want him to be put in charge.
Maybe even worse,
Um,
Gina or someone younger.
Seem to really be concerned about all the young folk.
I assure you it's not me personally. Just the kindred I work for ahead of me. Don't take kindly to receiving orders from anyone they deem to be inexperienced.
Who are we talking about here?
The biggest name used to be Ophelia's and Debbie, certainly. But there are also just the affiliates that they had, the ones that they've worked with the longest. I can provide you a set of names if that is of interest to you.
It would help make the decision, I think.
Certainly.
Viridian looks to Alice again and says, "Would everyone who supports my leadership be willing to put it in writing?"
I believe I could have that arranged.
I just want to know for sure who is asking me to lead. And mentally, Viridian is running through all of the names of all of the people who have been a part of this executives group alongside Viridian ever since Viridian came to Itaewon in the first place in the 80s. They've been a part of this scene since then. And so they know a lot of these people. And I think inwardly, Viridian is not surprised that they're looking to Viridian for leadership, but also a little surprised that after all of these months of like kind of that really like politeness, that over politeness that happens in business politicking, where all of these people are just so fake to you, is surprised that they would go from that to agreeing on Viridian as a name. But after that, I think Viridian just folds their hands again and says, "Well, Alice, thank you for your time." And they start to stand up.
Thank you all for your time. Please enjoy the rest of the festivities happening downstairs. I'm seeing all of you whenever most convenient to you. And Alice will sort
I
of
will have-
stand.
Oh, Viridian was just going to say, I will have my assistant, Calliope, and gestures to her, Calliope, reach out to you when I've come to a decision. And I think with that, Viridian will stand up and they will walk around the table to exit. They're not like walking super, super quickly, but they're definitely like obviously very done with this conversation. And their plan is to find Abram privacy somewhere so that they can text someone.
Can I roll for Bloodhound to sniff out what Alice's humors are right now?
Give it to me.
Three successes.
3 successes. Let's see. We're going melancholic. Let's see. And I'll say for fun, there is a dyscrasia as well. Massive failure.
What does that mean?
Constantly reminded not to fail in the same way. If anyone were to drink from Alice's blood, the drinker can reroll dice that remind them of the vessel's failure. You may not reroll hunger dice that resulted in ones during the first roll.
Alice, just curious. Now that Ophelia's gone, who's on the reins now? For you.
I'm wrapping up as many loose ends as I possibly can, and then I am no one's ghoul in particular.
Insight to see whether or not she's not.
Go for it.
I'm gonna use a reroll to reroll 1. 3 successes.
I unfortunately, with Alice's 5 successes. This is a top-notch liar you're dealing with here, but you don't know what in particular is missing.
Okay. Just gonna follow the rest.
As we exit, Cerise will hand Alice the empty champagne flute again. You run so fast. Thank you. And
Thank
we'll
you.
go and follow Viridian and Jet out.
Wendy is gonna
Um,
follow Jet and just be like, you should see the food they have here, like food we can actually eat. I know where all the
Yeah.
blood bags are.
You saw the white animals.
I mean, I kind of had something before I went back here. But yeah,
But it's free.
Wendy, we're so rich, everything seems to be free.
Speak for yourself.
Hey, I pay you.
Just saying, you should take it while it's free. Look here, I'll just save some for you. Cover me, okay? Just
All
look,
right.
stand right here.
And I'm just gonna screen Wendy while they put some food in their Tupperware.
Wendy's going.
Yeah.
not the glass Tupperware.
It's filling the purse full of like the stuff
Full
at the buffet.
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
like...
yeah.
Put a
There's
goat
like a
in there.
smash cut to like when we were getting out of the car and
whole
Viridian's like,
white
what's in your,
goat.
or like, what do you need that bag for? And just Wendy's like, no reason.
the biggest Michael Kors purse I could find. This.
Yeah.
Not the Michael Kors. That's my mom. My mom has so many Michael Kors purses.
When my aunts came to visit, they went to TJ Maxx and just like bought a bunch to bring back with them.
God, yeah,
course.
that's such a mood.
I
Cerise
think
and Viridian.
Viridian
Where do you peel off
watches-
to?
Yeah, so Viridian watches the shenanigans with Jet and Wendy, and I think just over their shoulder, Viridian just says, "You two, please enjoy the party," and maybe walks a little too quickly away, and is just gonna try and find an empty meeting room.
Cerise is going to notice that Viridian is power walking, and Viridian does not power walk
Yes,
anywhere.
Power walk. No, I do not
Um,
power walk.
So they are concerned immediately, and they're just gonna, I think, say to like Wendy and Jet, just you two go on. I'm gonna, and they follow Viridian.
Can I locate an empty room?
Of course. The Nimian Lion
Okay.
conference room.
Okay, so I will just slip into the room, and I don't think I noticed Cerise following behind me, but I definitely pull the door closed, so Cerise would have to open it again. And I just go and sit in. I think I walk around to like the far end of the table and sit in just like one of the chairs at the head of the table. And Viridian pulls out their phone, and they will first message. Pulls up their text messages, and I think we see a text thread with Sagwa, very briefly, where the most recent response from Sagwa just says like, "Sorry, I can't. I'm in Baltimore this weekend," and so Viridian scrolls past that and will text Kyoko. And we'll just send a text to Kyoko just saying, hey, can we talk at some point? A lot just happened. And then after texting Kyoko, they will pull up their text thread with Debbie Min, which has a lot of messages from Viridian in the history. Viridian's just said, like, things like, where are you? Please talk to me. Like, can I do anything for you? Just like a whole lot of messages from Viridian, or just from Viridian, and Debbie has not responded. And so Viridian starts drafting another text message. And this, the general gist of this text message essentially says, hey Debbie, I hope you're still getting these. I just got out of a meeting with Alice. She says the executives want me to take up the mantle of leadership. And I don't want to do it. Truthfully, I think the position should be yours, if you want it. Please message me back. I miss you. Send text message.
And I think it is
I think you'll notice Cerise.
literally the same thing. I think it is as you're sort of finishing up that text message that you hear the door open, and you see Cerise walk in, and they close the door behind them kind of like slowly and quietly, and their brow is furrowed. Hey, are you okay?
I'm fine.
Sajang, you don't need to lie to me.
I think Viridian, like, I mean, it's Cerise. How could I? And you watch as Viridian's posture completely changes. And they just kind of slump in the chair a little bit, and their face, for the first time in a while, looks very defeated. And Viridian just says, "It's a lot of responsibility."
That it is. Nothing you can't handle, though. You know that.
I know. And frankly, I wouldn't trust anyone else. Objectively, I am the ideal candidate. I don't want this.
And Cerise walks over to the chair next to you, sits down, and will, I think, like take one of your hands in theirs and just kind of like gently hold it, rubbing it absentmindedly in a comforting way. Why not?
Truthfully, I don't wish to be another Ophelia. When you...
You're no Ophelia.
Yes, but in saying that, I mean a leader. When you are a leader, people look to you for guidance. They look up to you. And there are many who wish to be in that position and would do anything to get there.
Is
I
that what
know
you're
I
worried
can
about?
do this job. I don't enjoy the scrutiny.
Hmm.
I've had many experiences with those who clamor to lead, and I never wanted that for myself.
Sajang, do you know why I kill the people that I do?
Viridian just smiles a little bit, knowing that you're about to tell them.
They're all power hungry. They all think that they own the fucking ground that they walk on, and that everyone else around them should bow down to their whims, and if you don't, that they deserve to do whatever it is that they want to. Those people, ah, they don't deserve the power that they have, let alone their lives. But you're not like that. You don't want the power, and weirdly enough, I think that kind of makes you the perfect person for the job.
I think Viridian like looks away, and they look like down into the left kind of situation, and they say, I know. Which is why I have to do it. I don't want to, but I have to do it. The alternatives are much worse than anything that could possibly happen to me or what have you.
Well, hey. And Cerise, I think, leans in closer to Viridian, and there's this like conspiratorial look on their face, like they've just had a brilliant idea.
Fear. Freudian.
If anyone at all, tries something, tries to take your position from you, like you said, people will do anything to get to where you are. But if anyone tries anything, well, we'll just sick Wendy on them. Wendy's good at hiding dead bodies, remember? That's what they said.
Yes, that they did indeed just volunteer that information in the meeting. Not very tactical.
It's fine.
I think
But
Viridian gets
you're
you get a
safe.
little chuckle out of Viridian.
My point is that you're safe, Sadangnim. If your fear is around the potential for people to criticize or to try and tear you down, that's nothing. They're nothing.
Oh, I'm not scared of criticism. I face a lot of that in my position at my own company. And I'm sure you know better than anyone, I don't shy away from business. I think their brow does cock at business. I think Cerise would know that in the world of business, Viridian is as cutthroat as anyone else. They've done lots of very unsavory things to get to the top of where they are. But for some reason, this idea of social leadership within a community isn't something they really want. And I think Cerise would also know, based on the very little that Viridian has told them about what it was like living in the States, because I think Viridian is very guarded about what happened to them. Cerise knows that they used to live in San Francisco and that something happened and that Viridian now moved away from San Francisco because I think Viridian would have told Cerise that a lot of bad things happened and Viridian needed to escape and just leave. So Cerise would know that. And I think also Viridian has mentioned offhand about the Camarilla, and sort of that very structured form of leadership is how they were brought up. And I think Cerise can see that Viridian still upholds some of those values, but not in the same way that the Camarilla does. And Viridian, I think, looks back down at their hands folded on the table, and they say, I'm going to mull it over for a few days. Make them sweat a little.
Make him sweat a lot. Alice, she does it so easily.
And I think, like, you can see Viridian starting to relax a little bit. Just being with Cerise, I think, is very comforting to them. And they say, well, I wasn't prepared for a party, but would you like to come with me?
Yeah. Come, let's go find Alice. Let's make her get us drinks again. So funny seeing her run.
Viridian stands and they just say, she's so fast.
I know, right?
And I think Viridian reaches for your hand, and hand in hand, we walk out of the room. Is Jet and Wendy still standing around outside, or did they go into the party downstairs?
I stuffed my pockets full of blood bags and whatever animal carcasses I could grab that I think everyone would like. And
the
My
bottomless
Michael
Michael
Kors
Kors bag. What's the
And,
smell?
definitely not a bag of holding, but and then I don't know, I think Jet and Wendy would probably be outside because I don't know. I feel like Wendy could only stand so much time in that place without feeling out of place there.
Animal bodies, animal carcasses in bags, in designer bags, ghouls running around at lightning speed. That is going to be the end of episode 2 for us tonight.
Totally normal.
I have one question. One question.
Yeah.
For closing shot. Is there music, or like what kind of gala is this? Is this a stand around and talk quietly while piano plays in the background, or is there music?
I think there's like lively jazz, and people are like getting drunk and like I don't know, like it should be put together people, but obviously people are getting drunk and like screaming or something. I don't know.
What? Okay. I was thinking, oh, how cute would it be if there was like, Viridian and Cerise dancing? But like, if that's
No.
the environment, then no.
No.
They,
Uh,
I think
Um,
it'd be funny if we just walk in, and Viridian's like, no, and I just grab Cerise
exactly.
and we walk back out, and that's it.
Can I get a post-credit scene with Wendy real quick?
I would love to. I have to move my car or else I'll get towed really soon. So I would love to end like right
It's
now.
gonna be real quick. It's gonna be like 2 lines.
Okay, go for it.
Jet tells Wendy, I need you to look for a name for me. And it's it's Mark what was it?
Derasu.
Mark DeRossi.
Rossi.
He owes me something.
Okay.
And that's where I'm gonna end it.
Beautiful.
Okay. I have been Josephine. I'm at Terry Dog Friend. I've been your storyteller for today, as well as many running around ghouls. I'll pass it over to Youngles.
I'll make this quick so Jared doesn't get our car towed. But hi, I'm Youngles. I'm at Gen Geeky and I do this and other things. So, find me places. Okay, I'll pass it to Hamna.
Hello, everyone. I'm Hamna, any on all pronouns. I'm a TTRPG performer and producer. You can find me on all social medias at Lilith TTRPG. I'm on a lot of different shows. Find me over there to know where I am. Jay.
Me. Hi, I'm Jay or Nala. My Twitter is at NalaWoo. I am an illustrator and art director. Recent project, All the Witches. Really cool game. Tomorrow I am on a 2-shot over on Asians Represent, raising money for the Asian Defense Fund or something or another. Playing a Journey to the West inspired City of Mists game where I am playing, my mythos is Tansanjiang from Journey to the West, and my character is a nerdy, very hot but very oblivious field botanist, and I'm very excited for it, so come watch me in that tomorrow. And that's me, passing it to Fabs.
Hi, I'm Fabs. Follow Bad House RPG. Links are in the chat.
Do it.
Liz.
Hey, I've been Liz and Jessi, she, they pronouns. Thank you to Bad House RPG. I don't want Joe getting towed, so follow me as the Mulan Rogue. Anywhere, timestamp, tell me
So
where you saw
sorry.
the gay panic raise in my face when I realized I had to RP with Hamna and Jay at the same
Yep.
time.
Yep.
Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.
Right. Do
Bye.
it, Joe.
Bye.